Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our monthly community conversations. My name is Adela Hittel, and I am your host. I'm so excited to have you here today. There's a couple of things that we're going to be updating you on for our events, for everything that we've got going on. It is, first of all, Happy New Year. I know it's the end of the month, but it's still a new year. We want to wish you a happy one. We hope that you have entered this new year with a lot of joy, a lot of empowerment, a lot of emotion, a lot of thought and care into yourself, knowing that you're worth the effort. So that's the first off kickoff. The other part I want to say thank you to is we have 177 subscribers on our YouTube page. So let me pull this up for you guys. Please go to our YouTube page and subscribe some more. So we love that. Also, go to our website right now. On our website, we have a new design. Super excited. And we also have our event Runway to Resilience. Information is up. We'll be announcing it next week, a lot more in detail. We would love for you to check it out. And again, going back to our topic of the month, which is our community conversations, we have them right here that you can sign up and register for multiple ones over this next year. They're all scheduled. So please take advantage and take opportunity of the free resources, free conversations, and free stories that are here to share with you so that you may be able to find some hope, some guidance, some light in a world where it might seem so dark and filled with just not love. So we're here to share that with you, and I'm really, really excited to introduce to you our team this year and our speakers for our monthly community conversations this month, MCCs, mental wellness and small steps. And we'll be joined by Here Tomorrow, Michael from Here Tomorrow, and I'm really excited. And I'm going to make sure I get his last name right in just a minute when we introduce him fully. But he will be joining us and telling us all about their organization and mission. I'm super excited. So let me bring our team on. Here we go. Everybody, welcome to our official. Let me fix one more thing because we have another member joining our Zoom call. Bear with me. You guys were fixing live. So welcome. This is what happens because we need to have option. We need to have options. So if anybody's interested in being our producer in the back end, we would love to have you. Please pop on. That would be great. It would help me alleviate a lot of this. That was awesome. So there's that call for that. Our team is on. We have our people on. We're so excited. Those of you who are joining us, welcome. And let me do our official intro that we have to do and all of our legal stuff to let you know that we're not legally responsible for anything. Here we go. Bear with me this year. I'm full of jokes and I'm full of happiness. And so I will be a lot for you this year, and I'm so excited. Again, my name is Adela Hittel. I am the founder of Project Human Think, a new way to think about mental and emotional health. I'll be the moderator for this meeting tonight and the producer of it, so bear with me. And Alicia's going to be helping us in the comment sections or any of the stuff in our chats. If we have any questions, that would be great. Thank you again for joining us this year. These calls are monthly online events where members of Think and our widespread community discuss key themes important to our organization and mission. Each conversation includes a brief introduction to Think, information and resources related to month's theme, and an opportunity to discuss and learn as a community. Our disclaimer: we are not medical professionals. If you are in a crisis, please reach out to your local mental health resources or dial 911 for immediate assistance. For national suicide prevention support, please dial 988. And also reach out to a friend. We are here. We are recording and live streaming tonight's event on our YouTube channel. So thank you for those of you who are joining us and all of our subscribers. Thank you. If you do not wish to be on video, please take a moment to turn off your cameras. And if you do not wish to be heard or speak on there, please don't, because this is all recorded and will be shared for our marketing and promotional purposes. And you have, by participating in our Zoom meeting, you have given us permission to use all of this. Okay, that's our fun part. Now, I want to introduce you to one of our volunteers and my co-hosts for tonight, Jen. She has been our key guide and key guru in our MCCs and ensuring that we have the structure and we have a plan so that we can bring you value and we can bring you resources that really do make sense and can be tangible in a conversation that you can walk away from. We will be joined again. We are joined by Here Tomorrow. And the representative for Here Tomorrow is, and again, I'm going to get this right. If I don't, please correct me, Michael. Michael Velarde?
Yep, you got it.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. We are joined by Michael, and we are going to have him say a few things on there. So we'll open the conversation about our perspective on mental wellness and what it means for us and the small steps that we take that can help us along the way. And again, we'll learn more about Here Tomorrow. So if at any of the time if at any time during this call you have any questions, please add them in the comments. Or if those of you who are watching on our YouTube chat have questions in our comment sections, if somebody is moderating them, that would be great. If we're not right now tonight because there's a lot going on and we're shorthanded on some things, we will respond back to you in that channel or reach out to you personally. So please leave your questions, leave your comments, or any of that stuff, or share your story, and we will respond to you as soon as possible. All right. That is so much. Welcome to all the legal stuff. Now let me talk to you guys about Fink. Also, welcome to all of our new members who are joining our Zoom call. It's super exciting. I can't wait. And thank you again for all of you who have joined us before. So we're so grateful to have you here, whether you joined us once, multiple times before, whether you've watched us, listened, or not. We want to welcome you, and we want to take you along our journey of healing. This is a safe space full of compassion and curiosity. You're not alone in your journey, and we want to take you along, again, for the whole ride of the experience of human life. So Fink is Project Human, Inc. It is a new way to think about mental and emotional health through the arts. We utilize the arts to create conversations and content, creative projects where we get to share and express topics, situations that deal with the human experience and how we can navigate them. We also create systems that provide you with functionality, roadmaps. We have educational courses that are available and will be available coming up, where we break them down into segments and allow you to create within the community while you're creating for yourself. There's multitudes of things and resources that we use and techniques, and it's really cool because we adjust it and we create with you and your organization to help you navigate the problem in whatever might be, or find a solution to something else. So we are problem solvers, Project Human, and we use art to do so because we believe humans are worth the effort. And if we have a problem, we can solve it. So, and again, if we can do it through a conversation, we're a phone call away, we're a comment away. If we can't do that through a conversation, please join us for one of our creative projects, because you never know what you're going to learn. You never know what you might be able to take away from it and what relationship you will build as you come and participate. So there is that. All right, Ms. Jen, take it away. I'm done talking. I need a break.
Thanks, Adela. And I also want to welcome everyone to 2026. This is the first of many monthly community conversations, and we welcome you to suggest topics. We pick them, but we're always willing to be flexible and change them around based on what the community wants to delve deeper into. This month's topic of mental wellness and small steps kind of challenges what our concept of mental wellness is as a collective and as individuals. Many of you may be paying heavy attention to social media lately, what's in the news. There's a lot of doom and gloom going on, and I'm guilty of doom scrolling myself. It's not the best habit, but you get sucked in. And I just want to open everyone's eyes to the fact that when we talk about mental wellness, it's not light switch on or light switch off. We're talking about a barometer, a continuum, if you will. And we want to kind of say, mental health isn't something you have or don't have. We all experience mental health, and we're on that spectrum at different places all the time, depending on, what's going on with us. What's are we thriving this week? Are we having great experience? Are we having negative experiences? Wherever we are on that continuum, it's valid. It's okay to be great one day and not so great another day. They're all part of the human experience. And what we're trying to get to is that while we are on a different spot on that continuum at any given day, drifting back and forth, that we can take small steps through self-awareness and understanding that can pull us in a more positive direction from wherever we are. And that is what we would like to focus on today. So we want you to know that in your ongoing pursuit of mental wellness, you're not alone. You are part of this community. These monthly community conversations are a once a month manifestation of that. We have quarterly mental health days where we gather together. If you really need community, we meet on a bi-weekly basis, and we invite you to come join us, hold our hand, give us a hug, get a hug, or just be in a room with people who actually care about humans. So be a part of the community. Know that you're not alone, and know that even the smallest steps, like reaching out, expressing yourself, pausing to take a breath, like Adela and I like to do, asking for resources or even asking for help and saying, hey, I'm not okay. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help, as Michael will talk about shortly. We can work with you to move you gently towards more groundedness, promoting self-care, our topic for next month, and helping you understand, it's not about perfection. It's not about always being mentally healthy. It's about being where you are, loving yourself, giving yourself grace to be where you are, and taking the steps you need to have a better day, to have a better month, to have a better life, and to surround yourself with people who are bringing you more positively along that way. Next, we're going to hear from Here Tomorrow Representative Michael Velarde. Um, Here Tomorrow is a wonderful nonprofit, one that I have been involved with and fully believe in the incredible work that they do in suicide prevention and survivor support. This group helps our community navigate mental wellness continuum to feel heard and supported in their toughest hours, as well as partnering and coaching folks that need help choosing those small steps we talked about towards recovery and hope. And I'm just so delighted to introduce Michael. Michael, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us some about Here Tomorrow for folks that may not have heard of your organization yet?
Yes, I absolutely can. And I just want to really quickly just very much so appreciate the way you framed small steps and how we get well. What does wellness look like for each individual? And I love to say that wellness is nonlinear. It's a roller coaster. It's up and down and around, and it can be very hard to get bearings on how to manage this roller coaster of life and human experience. And that I feel is very much so where Here Tomorrow comes in. Um, and really makes it about the person to person connection, because it's built on this lived life experience that each of us at Here Tomorrow have. So myself and others within the organization are certified peer support specialists. And so essentially what that looks like is we offer peer services, non-clinical services to individuals struggling with suicidality or hopelessness, mental challenges, and just have found that they have no other place to go. It's the really unfortunate reality in this country, in the world, how difficult it is to really receive mental health support, especially with how stigmatized it is, and how lonely of an island that can be. The continuum of care just isn't there. And so that's where Here Tomorrow comes in. We break down those barriers and we open the doors for people at no cost to receive our services. So, like I said, our model explicitly centers on hiring and certifying people with lived experience to become these suicide prevention specialists. So, support doesn't really feel like this cold procedure, this clinical procedure. It feels like a human being really seeing you. And that matters more than I think a lot of people realize. There's a lot of research, decades of it, in fact, that keeps circling around this same truth that relationship factors like empathy, trust, genuineness, these are not nice extras to have. They're powerful drivers of change. And that's where I feel Here Tomorrow operates within, is this unconditional positive regard for anyone that walks through the doors that we serve. So in other words, really, we don't heal people just willy-nilly. We give something to them that is irreplaceable, and it's that human connection. And more often than not, we find that these people who are struggling stay and feel that connection or on that path to wellness. Like imagine how it feels to listen to someone who doesn't flinch at your story, who makes sense of the chaos and helps you build a plan for the next hour, the next day, the next year. All of that matters significantly. And again, that's the bedrock of kind of how we operate. We're very person-centered. And we don't view people as a problem to be fixed, but a person to be met. And I think that's very significant in terms of working with people in general. So as far as like what support really looks like, this can be either in person, video, or over the phone, whatever lowers the barrier for any individual to come through our doors. And that can look like crisis prevention, safety planning, coping skills, and all collaboratively without judgment. Because we're person centered, we really want to operate from the stance that you are the expert of your story. We haven't lived it, but we want to stand by you through it. And that's why we kind of work together with individuals to work on these different systems of support, get you connected. And it can also look like support groups. So we have teen support group, adult support group, and then we also have military and first responders. So we operate this vast array of human experience so that individuals can have access, which I find is the biggest problem, is getting access to these sort of services. And so I feel, again, if anyone feels hesitant to reach out because they're not bad enough, they don't feel their situation is dire enough, reaching out means you're human enough. And you don't need to do that alone. And so, if nothing else tonight, just remember that you can call and text here tomorrow, 904-372-9087, and we'll be here to support you through that. Like I said, we also offer a teen line support, a youth group. I've been a part of the youth program since its development, and it is a very near and dear part of my heart. So I absolutely love just serving this community and being a lifeline for people. But that, in a nutshell, is what we are and how we operate.
I
I
love it.
love that, Michael. You mentioned that you offer support services. Are you specific to the Jacksonville and surrounding areas? Do you have any folks
Yes.
that might reach out to you digitally that might be beyond our city or county borders?
Yes, so we absolutely operate beyond the county borders. While we are like mainly in the Neptune Beach physical area, if you don't live in Florida, even you can call in, you can talk to us. So we don't restrict the bounds to just Florida. We want to make sure that we're available for as many people as possible, because everyone deserves help.
I love that. That's fantastic. I love what you said about mental wellness and just at the beginning that, again, as we talk back on to it's each individual human experience is your experience. We cannot live your life. We cannot even fathom what it is that is being processed in your space and place of existence. So the best way is to have and create these spaces and places where you are not alone and you can reach out and also look forward to changing the things you want to change in your life, and navigating those. So I'm really, really grateful. And while you spoke as well, we shared to you guys online. If you're listening to, you can go back and rewatch some of the things that he said that they offer. So please go check them out. They're a really, 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 really great resource. Before we move on to the other thing, I want to actually continue the discussion a little bit more, and I want to ask Alicia and Yolanda as well. What is mental wellness and small steps mean to you as well? And then I'd like to get back to you, Michael, on your personal level. After you kind of hear everybody else, what would that mean and look like for you? And how would you also approach that when you are approaching someone, to give them a potential guided message on that when they're going through something? So I'll start with you, Alicia, and then we'll move to Yolanda, and then to Michael.
Yeah, I think mental wellness varies by each person, but I love what Michael said about, that the community being there for you and kind of like helping you plan even your next hour. To think about that, like basically as Jen and Adela do, just breathe and sit in the moment. That I know that, mindfulness is kind of like a growing concept in the community, but I think, for me, it really, varies by day. But I think one of the great things about our organization and now, these monthly community chats is really having other people there for you because sometimes you might be having a bad day and they can be there for you, and sometimes they're having a bad day and you can be there for them. And I think that that's the whole point of community. So together we
Beautiful.
can do it, I think.
Step by step. Beautiful. Yolanda.
Sorry, ADHD. I kind of know the question, but it completely just.
What does mental wellness look like to you, and what are some small steps that you take towards it, and how might you? Well, actually, I'll ask Michael the other part. Just what are some mental health wellness, and what do the small steps mean to you?
Okay, so mental health wellness. Huh. I I I guess
Or
it is the
mental
small
wellness?
steps for me. For me, it is the small steps. Because the small steps make up my entire being, So it doesn't matter if I'm having a great, fantastic, amazing day or the crappiest day of my life. Um, Everything starts with a pause. And I think about what it is I need to do, what it is I want to do, and what's best for me. And then I make my decision based on that, and I keep moving forward. And if I'm in a spot where maybe mentally I'm struggling, I pause. I think about, is this something I can handle? Can I get myself through this, or am I stressing to a point that I need to reach out, whether it's Adela or my husband or something more than that, you know? And that's a skill you learn over time. It's not something that you do immediately. And I think a lot of people need to know that. Like it's something that you have to, like Michael was saying, you have to build relationships with people. There has to be a sense of trust for you to go to someone in your most vulnerable state. And that's not just like a bad mental health day. That could be, maybe you did something stupid, or maybe it's a really joyous thing, but maybe it's super private. Whatever it is, trust is so valuable. And that comes with time, and that comes with showing up, and that comes with them being able to depend on you to not judge where they're at. And so for me, having that good safety net of people that I know will support me in the good times and the bad is so valuable. So I think it's really amazing that your um, nonprofit is doing that on a wider scale. I think that's beautiful because it's pretty much the whole concept of what we teach, and you're taking it and making small groups, and I love that because how else are you going to have that kind of community, that kind of fellowship to build those relationship, I don't know what to call it, but kind of like in the Asian culture, they have like the red ties, and they tie to somebody else, and they say that like the person can feel when you're not, I love the idea of that mentally, with knowing somebody's energy and where they're at, to be able to go, hey, let me pick up the phone. They haven't called me in a minute. Let me just check in real quick. So for me, the small steps, it just makes up everything.
I love that. It makes up the whole being of me. I love that. That's like awesome. Michael, tell us yours. I'm really excited to hear.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like what wellness looks like for me is it's never really a fixed point. It's always changing and it's always different depending on the day, the time, how I'm feeling, what's going on at that certain time. But I think overall, what sort of brings it together for me is having insight, congruence with the values that I carry, being able to be vulnerable and in a community or environment that facilitates that, and then ultimately having this fulfillment of me living a life that's worth living. I think hopelessness and this idea of suicidality propagates when we're not living this life that we feel is worth living. And that's what I feel, the folks that Here Tomorrow, myself, during our sessions, we really focus on building that life worth living. What does it look like? And not just being kind of not specific about it. We get really in detail. And we really try to define what this looks like. So there's actionable steps to move towards those goals that we want, even during the hard moments. But I feel like all of that kind of comes together to make this really beautiful and fluid picture of wellness, because it's certainly not fixed.
I love that. And Jen, what about you? Don't think I forgot about you. I
I
just didn't say your name.
I want to grab on to something Michael said that just rang in my ears so beautifully. Congruence with my values. When I think about taking small steps, the compass needle has to be what is right for my best outcome, not what is right in the eyes of my social media follower group, not what is right in the eyes of my religious group, school group, work group, boss, LinkedIn account. It's what do I truly value? And am I taking small steps towards that? Where's my peace? Where's my groundedness? And I loved that phrasing of alignment to value. And I think that's something that we can explore together in more MCCs and in some of the educational courses that Fink offers, possibly even Here Tomorrow offers, um, is really becoming aware of what our own personal values and what our story is and what we want it to be so that we can recenter and reground ourselves. So I'll pan off of that, Adela, and to me, mental wellness is about finding balance between a comfortable state and also a slightly exposed and learning and vulnerable state. For me, I never want to be stagnant. I never want to be um, curled up in bed, not going anywhere. I want to be challenged. I want to grow. I want to continue learning. I want to push myself. So for me, finding that very delicate balance with whatever energy I have that day to give both myself and the world, that's how I define mental wellness. And the small steps are maybe if I am in bed that day, I'm going to put deodorant on. That's going to make me part of the world. Or, I didn't leave the house today and that sucks. I'm going to put on, in this weather, a jacket, and I'm going to walk like up to the end of the street and back just to get some air in my lungs and to get some perspective, to get out of my physical space so that I can open my mental space. So it's really for me about where am I? Where do I want to be? And how can I get a little closer to that?
I love that. I think the idea we haven't, again, as a whole collective, we've all talked about, having a lifestyle of great health, if you will. And if your lifestyle looks a certain way, as we've mentioned social media or Pinterest from the days that I grew up on, if your lifestyle looks a certain way, now it's Instagram, those moments, they do make us feel some ways in some type of ways. And I'll tell you that from personal experience. When I started this organization and I started everything, my whole world was exposed to what people think of me. I'm an artist. I'm in that world. I create. And so the idea of what people think of me and building up this character was extremely difficult to live in that. And what I found out is that my mental wellness, is a whole encompassing of my humanity, and that if my 40 inches is not at the capacity that I am able to manage in my day or in my space or in my world, because I am only responsible for that, which is my house, which is my being, which is my space, just my space that no one touches, no one sees, no one is involved. If I don't have the capacity to handle that, and I am trying to extend into the 6 feet or into the out world, it's and I'm not saying it's impossible, but for your mental wellness and for who you are in your being, it does not work with, like, as we talked about, values and conscious values and your boundaries and these things that you want and a clear path. And you have to scale back on that. And that's what I had to do too. I had to pause, take a couple years off, regroup, and sit in my existence. Right? Part of mental wellness is sitting in the existence you live in and recognizing that it feels hard. It feels overwhelming. It feels drowning. But when that feeling comes and you can't breathe, the part of recognition and some accountability on a self is to say, I have a resource. Let me reach out and say, I'm not good. Can you just call me back? Because we don't know. And that's the lesson I've had to learn. That mental wellness means that you are open enough to me, and again, my personal, open enough to take that step, that small step to say, I need someone to talk to today. I don't understand my process. And I've had a couple conversations even today where it was as simple as overwhelming, not knowing where to go, what to do, to a really blown out thing. And then by the end of the conversation, it was like, oh, okay, no, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. And let me do this part. And it's just this. Thank you so much. I got it. And it goes back. The small steps are navigating to you, zero in, and be able to recognize that, again, you belong here. You're worth the effort, and everything that you're receiving in from the world or from your 40 inches, you are exuding out. So how do you want that to be? And that is a hard step to learn, to see yourself, because we're really great at seeing others. We're really great at being able to solve other problems. We're really great at being the best person for someone else in a skill, in a trade, in a job, in a whatever. But how do we do it for ourselves? And that's what we do at our organization. And that's what Here Tomorrow with the resources too is. We do that for it. We ensure that you have a group of people, like-minded people, peer-to-peer advocates, and information and lived experiences to tell you, hey, I understand the feeling. I may not understand the full experience of the environment, but I understand the feeling. So how can we help you move and navigate into this space so that your being knows that It's not just mental wellness, it's human wellness. It's an overall experience of your emotion, your mind, your physicality. Everything is encompassed in that. And we are complex beings, and we feel, and we are energy-based beings, that we feel this human connection. And it's just, and as Michael had mentioned, that irreplaceable human connection. There's no AI, social media, and even this is great. But none of this would work if we didn't know each other personally either, or if we hadn't known a person together, or we hadn't been on that level of, again, irreplaceable human connection. Everything in this world that's coming towards us, nothing will replace the physical human connection that we are literally born to have. And the world is deciding that that is not good enough. And we don't need to let that be decided that way, because we have the power to know our worth. So I'm so happy for the conversations and you guys sharing those thoughts and knowing that, and just know it looks different for everyone. It's not linear. It could be a big ball of paint today and a perfectly organized calendar tomorrow, or it could be a fire dumpster in between all of it. So just know you have water, you have breath, you have resources, you have human beings, all the elements of the world. They're here for you if you're willing and want to at least decide that you're worth the effort that others are putting into you as well, because it only works that way too. So that's my little spiel on that. I'd like to, first of all, Jen, if you want to help us guide us through that guided this group discussion, because I think that'll be important, as I am not... I'm here.
So we've all shared our concepts of what is what mental wellness to each of us. And folks who have been listening, or folks who might be reading transcripts online, you can see these are all different shades of a rainbow. They're all different viewpoints of the same thing through different folks' concepts. And none of them are wrong. They're our individual lived experience. And so I want to take that just a step further with the humans that we have on this call and talk about some things that maybe you, our listeners, can relate to. For instance, I'm going to ask the team round robin, what is one thing that you did this week that helped you feel a little lighter or a little more grounded? What one small step did you do this week, no matter how small? And we'll take turns. I'm going to go around what my clockwise is, which will be Michael, then Yolanda, then Alicia, and then Adela.
I love that question because I think it hones in on, the small steps that we do to support our wellness. And one small thing that I did this week, and it was a hard week, very busy, was just do something that was uniquely for me. And I love collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So they're just these small little cards, but it's something uniquely mine. And so when I take that hour or 30 minutes or whatever time that I had available to myself to just frame everything together, put them in their place, and just have something that's uniquely mine. And then on top of that, sharing that with my partner, sharing, look at what I made here, and feeling that connection, like kind of that theme that we're orbiting around, that irreplaceable human connection, having that moment for myself, but then a moment to share with another person, that allowed me to feel very grounded in a very hectic week. So it was very helpful.
I love that. Yu-Gi-Oh. Somebody make a note of that. Y'all know how I like my little notes of that. Make a mental note. Who is next?
Yolanda, you're up next.
Sorry. I listened to what he said, so the question's gone again. So
it's all right.
I'm sorry. That's my brain. That's how my brain does.
And we accept every type of person. There are people that might be listening that they were cooking dinner and forgot what we were talking about. So for them too, what's one small step, one thing that you did this week that helped you feel a little bit more grounded, a little lighter, a little happier?
Happier. Grounded. Okay, so on a personal level, not where something's actually going on, right? Like
on any level you want, if you define moving one small step to your betterment, of mental wellness, life more in alignment with
Okay.
what you want it to
So
be, or whatever you want to go? What one small step?
I'm always going to go to the pause. I'm just always going to go to the pause. I I pause. I pause. Like today, I had a couple little trip ups and I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't know the right choice to make. And so I paused and I reached out to a couple of women in my life who are my go-tos to get a community senses on what I should do. And then I brought it back to what I know for myself spiritually. And I sat in that for a while. And then everything was fine. Everything was awesome. But if you ask me personally, things that I do to just make myself happy, I'm a lot like he is. Might not be a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but might be anime or video game. And I will sit in it and just do silly stuff like build a house or make a hut or whatever. Why? I don't know. There's no thinking. And I can just see something that I created and go, wow, that was cool. And then go about my day. It's just one of those times where it's like mentally, you can just enjoy something for a second without really having to think, without really having to say, you know, I don't have to be accountable for this. I don't have to be responsible for this. I have nothing that's going to drag me down with this. Like I can just be for a minute and almost empty out, I guess. I'm not really sure what that does, but um, and just go about your day. It's just kind of like it's a mental pause with a physical thing. You know what I mean? So like the cards are cool because you can sit there and do that and you put it up and you can because I do the same thing with like I guess do people call them action figures? I don't know what you call them. Anyway, and so you see them all and it makes you proud when you walk by. You remember when you did that and you go, wow, that was cool. So that sorry if that
I
made no sense
No,
to
appreciate,
some
that's
people.
great. That
no,
was great.
I appreciate that you covered two lenses. Two lenses. One being the existential reflection, that pause that you referred to is I'm making an important decision. I'm not only checking with myself, I'm checking with my support community. I'm
Mm,
reflecting, as you are guided by faith, I'm reflecting on my faith and I'm putting in requisite feeling to this with intentionality. I'm not jumping, I'm not reacting, I'm not panic choosing. I'm being definitive in this moment. So you you gave yourself that pause, you gave yourself an existential reflection point.
mhm,
And then to take it down to a personal level, um, you gave yourself a break
mm,
from those heavy thoughts in a
mhm,
way that could recharge you without depending on it like a crutch. And I
mhm.
love you for that because many of us like to depend on things like a crutch when we're feeling like the world's just too much right now, but balance is so important. You had your finger up. What's
Yeah.
up?
So just a little tidbit, just for those who are potentially watching and thinking, yeah, it's easy for them. It wasn't easy for me. That became a learned behavior
Not easy
after
at all.
choosing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it's not that it's not easy. It's easy once you know. Once you know, you know. But when you don't know, you don't know. So that comes with like not picking apart, but picking up the phone, um, allowing someone to call you, talk to you, allow them in because everyone knows who's ever dealt with anything on the negative side of that spectrum. It's really hard not to feel like a burden or a weight on someone else. So you have to give yourself some grace to say, you know what, even when you don't feel valuable, I'm obviously valued. I am obviously valued because there's a connection right here in my chest that makes me want to cry out to someone or something. So let me do it. So just know your worth because it's super important. You may not know how much you're worth, but you're more than worth a conversation. And that's what we can all freely give. So
Hell yes.
I just had
I
to say
applaud
that
that out
because
loud.
And believe you us,
it's not the
it's
easiest
not
thing sometimes.
easy. It's not easy.
Mhm.
And we humans are stubborn mules, as we like to call ourselves. We really, at least me and Yolanda like to call ourselves, we're stubborn because we're set in our ways. But the idea to know that You're worth the effort of that vulnerability, of that life, of that love. Like, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. Alicia?
What
Yeah,
one
just
thing did
to
you do?
well, quick piggyback on that whole concept is my favorite quote was from my acupuncturist when she was saying, I said, I have anxiety. It's so stupid. And she said, would you tell that to your best friend? Then why are you saying that to yourself? And so ever since then, whenever anybody says anything, I just say that to them.
Mhm.
So a lot easier to say it to somebody else than it is to say it to yourself. But this week I actually, lately, I have been doing a lot of little things. So I'll just name a couple of them to try and keep it short. One of my favorite things is something Adela got me hooked on is my vibration plate. And let me tell you, whenever I have anxiety, I just shake it off, and it is the most fabulous thing. I know everybody sees it on social and thinks it's a gimmick, but let me tell you, even my husband was not a believer and thought it was just silly, and he gets on it every day now too. So, um, but even if you don't have a vibration plate, I think, just move, shake, get those feelings off of you because one of the things that I've learned this week is that anxiety and those like negative vibrations, they're coming from like endorphins that are in your body, and your body was created this way to try and get rid of something that's scary and that you should be afraid of. And so you have to finish that cycle of endorphins to try and let your body feel that you're safe. So, however, if that is, if that's moving to walk away from something, if that's lighting a candle, any way to just like let your body know it's okay, I'm safe. And then on that note of feeling safe, I'm a big believer in meditation. I don't do it enough, but I have the Calm app, so I've done that a couple of times this week. Need to do it again more. But another thing that actually helped me, and this is just a plug for us, is that we had our weekly meeting yesterday, and I just always feel better after that. Sometimes I just cry with happiness because I know I'm a cheese ball, but you guys are so helpful for me, and I hope that we can spread that love and that goodness out to the world because we all need it. So
Oh, that
that's
makes me
just a
feel
couple
so
things.
nice. That makes us feel so nice.
Rock on.
I know. I know.
Adela, wrap us up. What one thing did you do this week that helped you feel a little lighter or more grounded?
How about just today? I'm not even talking about this
Sure.
week. Okay, today. Today was a fire dumpster. There was fires all over the place. Here's the thing. Life is going to be hard in so many ways. You're going to have days that sound great, look great, and all that. As Alicia mentioned, the shake plate. So the thing that I used to do was get up and put on a song and shake my whole body out. There's just like shake, shake, shake. Throw on a thumping song and shake it off. Now I have a shake and vibration plate to do that. That's a physical release, right? That's a great way to come off, and we need a physical release. So that's what I did, and that's what I do in between all my stuff. Anytime I need a minute and I feel the physical tension, it's get up and release it. Whether, like I said, move it, shake it, get it off. And as Jen mentioned in our comments, like a zebra shaking after being chased by a cheetah. That's where I learned it on the Discovery Channel. So knowing that. So that's my physical release, right? And then I also need an auditory release. So I throw in some songs, or music, or when I can't listen, since I'm in the world of everything that's just crazy and the world is crazy and you can't do that, plus your own personal crazy. I am a woman of faith, so I am all for God and Jesus. And so I will throw on some Jesus music and some stuff in my moment. And then I will listen to my Bible to reground myself, as we mentioned, for the faith. But then the last thing that I'll do after I do all of those things for my own grounding, because I have to zero in and kind of figure it out, is that I will turn to my support system, which is my nonprofit and my other people support in there and my humans, to say, hey, I need to clarify something. I need to ensure that this is this way. I need to make sure that I did not receive this information one way, or I need to make sure that I'm even understanding what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing. Am I in the right place this way? Or I don't even know where I'm at today. Can somebody just put me on earth? I don't know. And that's what I've had to do twice today, because twice today I have been challenged past my own capacity. Also, I'm learning that today has been one of those moments where I've grown so much, and some of those who have around me will attest to that, that We have a PSA that'll be coming out. It's called Pause, Shift, and Act. It's been something I've been practicing for the last 3-4 years. Pause again. When you're pause, pause, pause. We've mentioned it 1,000 times today. Pause, pause, pause. Pause in that moment. Shift your perspective. Shift it in 3-4 different angles that you need to. Then reach out to help you act accordingly. And if you don't need to reach out and you're like, I know what to do, act accordingly. And that may not look like how you thought it would. That may not feel like how you wanted it to feel. And it may not even be the result the way you want it to be the result, because no matter how much you hope for it, it just ain't the truth. So getting to the level of your truth and the truth around you makes it so much easier. So when the big fires come, you go, no, 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 no. I can zero in. I can shake this off. Again, shake it off like that Taylor Swift song. I really don't know anything about Taylor Swift. I don't know why I'm bringing her up, but I think it's because Alicia loves her so much, and it's those moments. Yeah. So but it is that. It's in that moment of that. And if you can't do it by yourself, make that phone call to someone. And I've had to do it today too. Somebody had to do it a couple of times. They're like, Adela, I need to vent. And it's that. I need to vent. Be okay with saying, I need to vent. Do you have a minute? I need to vent. I don't need you to respond. I need to vent. So I vented today. I shook off today. I drank some water, a lot of water. And of course I had my time with God, because that's what ultimately leads me to where I need to be in the right decision. So we all have to have those little moments to do that. And for me, again, if you guys don't take anything else out of this, take the pause and the shake it off, because it really does go a long, long, long way. And I'll be doing that right after we get off that too, because I have to stay up and do another meeting, and I'll need to make sure I'm shaking off and pause to where I need to be and right centered again, right? Yeah, so that's what I've done just today, and again, multiple times throughout this week, but just today alone, and vent. It helps.
It does help. And each of us has different approaches to what we do to make ourselves feel more grounded, a little bit lighter. It takes a small step. Sometimes it's multiple small steps. And we build on them, and we build through practice, like Yolanda mentioned. It is a practice like yoga, like meditation, like life. You just keep at it. You keep building things. You put things into your repertoire, your collection of things that I could do to make me feel better. And you tap resources. So you might be fresh out of ideas. You might be like, I tried all the things and still in the dumpster fire over here. That's when you reach out to organizations like Here Tomorrow. That's when you reach out to organizations like Project Human and say, hey, I need resources. I need ideas. I need to take steps, and I've been trying the things and the things aren't working. Tell me some new things. So, with that in mind, I would like to give both Project Human and Here Tomorrow an opportunity to talk about one or two maybe resources that are related to mental wellness, to Here Tomorrow's mission. Tell some folks about some resources that we offer that they might be interested in, kind of whet the appetite, and then we will include everyone's website links in the presentation so that folks can go and check them out themselves.
We'll go ahead and get started with you, Michael, because then we can wrap it off, as we're going to be closing off the chapter. And then as you speak, I'll add on our, you guys following on our YouTube, take a look at the website, go check it out. It's going to be there for you. You'll hear Michael speaking. I asked you to do it.
Absolutely. So one resource, obviously, and it's directly associated to us, is the free virtual phone no-cost sessions that we offer. You can go to our website at Here Tomorrow. There's a Calendly link, and you can log in there and directly get connected to a peer support specialist to get that support that you might need and you might look for. Additional resources that I often refer LGBTQ friends that we serve is Jasmine. I think that's a fantastic resource within Jacksonville for a community. I'm bisexual myself, and so it is very hard to find other people to find that community and feel close. So Jasmine is an incredible resource. And then as well for the teen side of things, Daniel Kids Family Support Partners within Daniel Kids is an incredible resource as well, to just get situated with systems of support. So whether you be in the LGBTQ plus community or in the teen community or youth community, both those resources are very helpful, along with our own Calendly link for our one-on-one support services.
Perfect. And would you mind letting us know about your Night of Promise? Because that's what I'm sharing with everybody right now. That would be great.
Absolutely. So we also have like Adela mentioned, the Night of Promise, that's March 22nd. And so we are celebrating our 5th anniversary of being live, of being here tomorrow. And it's really just a celebration of us and to spread the message. So you can certainly get tickets. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see, and it should prompt you to be able to get tickets that are available on that website.
And just a quick correction, it's March 21st. At least that's what the website says. So I want to make sure.
According to what Maya sent me, it's March 22nd.
Okay, well, one of the two should be in there because, yeah, okay. March 21st or 22nd, the website will be updated for the correct date for you guys.
Yep.
So you guys definitely check that out and get your ticket because I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm excited. Got my ticket. Anyway, sorry, guys.
Can't wait.
I know. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And so to piggyback off of what Michael said in the Here Tomorrow resources and what they have to offer, we are a human first approach organization where we believe human first. We have no label, no name, no nothing to the human. It is human first. If you want to have any other conversation that is outside of the human conversation, again, there's tons of resources for all of that, every space, every place, but we're here to accept humans. And provide humans with the good fellowship and the good stewardship of understanding that everybody is loved and accepted. Because the way I tell everybody this way, God made us all the same way. And again, whatever belief anybody has, God made us all to be the most beautiful humans. How we decorate our cakes and how we live our lives and how we do whatever the baked cake is up to us. We are individuals and we are so loved, and we should all be here to experience this life in a safe space, in a compassionate space, in a accepting life of this life, because we're human. And so that's the number one thing I want everybody to know, is that we will forever be human first. Any human, any shape, form, age, any space or anything, if you need a conversation, we are here for that. That's our number one resource and the number one space that we have. We have a Calendly link that you guys can check us out on our website too, and you can book in there at least a conversation with me if you need one. That's obviously offered to there through our Think meetings. But the other resources that we have and that we offer is that this is our number one way of communicating with you as well, is our monthly community conversations. We want you to be here every month for 1 hour, at least 1 hour. We want you to connect with us because you don't know what you will hear, who you might hear say something. The same thing you might have heard 1,000 times before does not click in until you hear someone else say it a different way. And you never know who might impact you that way or who you might impact. So it's really important to share your voice and show up to this way. So this is one of the resources we have, and you can rewatch all of them on our YouTube channel. Also subscribe. We would love to have you there. I want to reach more subscribers. So you know you love me, do that. And on the other note, in there you'll also find our video or video podcast, video version of our podcast. So you can go and listen to other conversations we have with other artists, with other resources, and just, again, the general idea of what the human connection means. We have our season coming up. Season 2 is coming up. I've just decided to do a season 2 now instead of the other one. So just so you know, we have a season 2 coming up next week. We have our first episode, so look out for that. I'm really excited. And it is the reflection year. So I'm so excited because this year has brought so much to us in every way. So that podcast we release them on Tuesdays, twice a month this year around. So please check that out. That'll be coming out. And then we have, as we mentioned before, our quarterly mental health days, our community events. We are planning one right now for March 14th. We will hopefully have Here Tomorrow there. Again, First Coast Cultural was there last year. We also had NAMI, and we're going to invite a lot more to have that conversation and to bridge you as just we kind of do this and more in person and more connected in that way. So we'd love to have you. It's Pi Day, so we have a really cool pie thing going on that we're going to do, you know? And then we will be talking more about what I mentioned a little earlier about the 40 inches. So we're going to have a segment that we're going to be teaching about 40 inches and boundaries a little bit, and the $24 day. That is really important. I think that's a concept that helped me understand the value of my time and my existence in knowing what my dollar of an hour is worth. Everything, because that's all I got. So we'll be talking about that on that day. So we'd love to have you check us out on our website. All of that information is up there. We'll have more registration links and things like that. The other thing that we are that we're going to be offering coming up in this later towards this year, we have our second quarterly mental health day. We'll be doing an educational creative toolkit educational class. So we're really excited about that for June. So check that out. And then we will be launching right after that our care workshop, which is a really big in-depth, everything we talk about, in-depth boundaries, $24 day, 40 inches, all these other things we've mentioned before. We're going to be doing a really big class on that. And last but not least, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a whole lot of other stuff, but last but not least, the thing I'm so excited about is our Runway to Resilience this year, May 9th, honoring mothers, service members, and our service community. We would love to have you there. We have made the announcement on our website right now, so those of you who are getting an early announcement, everything will be announced next week for a full-on, take a look at the video that I'm going to be releasing. Very excited about that. And we have a virtual casting call coming up February 21st through the 28th. That information will be available next week as well. And we are looking for all humans to participate in this fashion show, but we do have 2 segments. And the 2 segments are broken up into all humans and then Mother's Runway to Resilience Walk. So I'm really excited. And again, more information will be coming up soon for that. What else am I missing, guys, right now? Because my brain is frying. I know Jen's
Go ahead.
I
have a quick
Go ahead,
update.
Mike.
So for the March 21st date, that is correct. I got
Okay.
confirmation on that. And then one other thing. So we just started a teen co-ed support group. So we had initially just a teen boys and a teen girls. Now we also have a co-ed group, just getting that mix of individuals together. And that's every Monday from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Oh, to top you off on that too, because again, I did forget something. Here Tomorrow and Project Human have partnered up to do an echo session coming up on February 13th. It is Friday the 13th, 5:30 to 7. We will be teaching part of what we just talked about, a little segment of boundaries, self-care, and things like that. So we're really excited. That event is on our Facebook page, and it is, I believe, on our website event page too. If not, it will be on there. It is free to come, as if I understand. Bring a friend and have a conversation. The space is open. It'll be a beautiful time to, 1, give me a hug because I love hugs, and 2, to get to know Here Tomorrow and the team there, and then just kind of know what we're doing and how you can have a new perspective on your wellness, on life, and just, again, your own existence. So that is the 13th of February, 5:30 to 7 at the Here location, at the Here Tomorrow location at the beaches. Goodness, I got you.
And what a better way to kick off Valentine's Day weekend than showing yourself some love and learning how to love yourself even more.
Exactly.
So I wanna wrap us up today. Thank you so much to our guest speaker, Michael Velarde from Here Tomorrow. We really appreciate you and love partnering between our organizations and aligned missions. Thank you for being part of our conversation to promote mental wellness and encourage folks to take small steps towards improving that every day. As we close out our call, thank you to each and every one of the folks who have watched or listened to this call. Thank you for being part of our community. We look forward to meeting you, learning from you, hugging you, bringing you into the fold, and just making you a part of this organization. And if you want to volunteer with an organization that could change and save lives, we would love to have you, both of ourselves, Here Tomorrow. Reach out to us, reach out to either organization. Your time, your talent, your energy could be the difference in someone else's life. So thank you all so much. Next month's discussion, February, self-care. Don't miss it. Please check out our website, www.thinking-ing-org. Thank you so much.
We love you guys and we thank you. And I'm going to sign you off with letting you know that you are so loved, you are so treasured, you are so blessed, and you are so worth the effort of anything you want to do, but as simple as a conversation. And if somebody is not giving you at least that, know that you can find it somewhere else, like us here or Here Tomorrow. And until next time, adios, guys.
Good night.